Hello and welcome here. Now I will show you how I made an outfit inspired by Rachel Green from Friends. She's wearing this outfit in season 1, the 24th episode. It is a remarkable episode story-wise, but this look is also striking. I am really fond of these kind of clothes that are floating around when I move, so I decided to make something like this exact outfit. I start by copying a bodycon dress that I already have in my wardrobe. This one is a mini dress and I wanted to have a knee-length version, so that's why I am making a grey dress as a copy of a grey dress. The fabric is folded in 2 layers. First I cut the main pieces, the front and the back, without the sleeves. I will cut them separately. Before cutting out, don't forget, as I did, to check on the elasticity of the original dress and the fabric you work with. Depending on the difference in the percentage of elasticity, you might need to make the new dress wider or narrower. In my case, the new fabric is stretchier, but not much, so I think I'm good. I draw the seam lines with a chalk and with a pen when I got angry at my chalk for not being able to draw on this stretchy fabric. Then I copy the sleeves. I know that with sleeves in general you have to pay attention that the back and the front have different angled curves, but I don't bother with that now as these sleeves have less than a half centimeter difference. I pin the front piece in half and I redraw the neckline, then cut it in shape with some seam allowance. I face the right sides of the back and front pieces together and sew the side seams. First, I tried to sandwich the fabric between 2 layers of paper. Sometimes it's the only way for me to make a proper seam in stretchy fabrics, but it did not work, the seam was falling apart. Then I realized my sewing machine settings were out of balance, and I don't even need the papers now for this fabric, so I made the seams again without any paper. I sew the underarm seams on the sleeves. I have an arrow here and pin them on the dress, trying to equally distribute the fabric. It looks nice, simply sewed on like this, but I love myself a nice top stitch, so I will make one here. Just like this. Inside of the dress, I hemmed the raw edges, but the rest of the hemming I will do by hand. The sleeves, the bottom and the neckline, because I tend to make accidental wavy hems with stretchy cotton and I want to avoid that. It's the easiest way to sew by hand. This was enough sewing for one day. Okay, what's really happened was that my phone ran out of battery, so I had to stop shooting, and it was already late afternoon. I knew that I will need at least one day for the skirt, so I divided the project in 2. So, now the floating skirt. I am going to use a regular fitted pencil skirt pattern as a base. I will alter that. I copied it so the original pattern is out of harm's way because I will need to cut it in pieces, so I have the back piece and the front piece of the pencil skirt copied to another sheet of paper. I also sticked 2 parcels of paper together so it could be long enough. These are originally meant to be placed at a folded edge. That will be half the case here. I start with the back piece. What I do now is that I mark the middle at the bottom. Then I jump to the other side of the pattern and try not to fall because of the other pattern piece that I accidentally stabbed on. So I mark the middle at the bottom and I will connect this middle point here with the pointy end of the dart. I also measure how long I want the skirt to be. Elongate the halfway line till the bottom edge. And cut the whole thing in half, getting rid of the dart intake because this way it is not needed. I put these aside for now, but before that, I write on them which piece is which. And I repeat the same process on the front piece, except that I don't need to cut this in half. I originally copied the pencil skirt pattern with a gap at the center front. That is for that missing stripe that makes the skirt open at the front. I want to broaden out, is that the right expression? To broaden out the circumference of the skirt's bottom edge with an extra 1.5 meter. So as the skirt is going to consist of 6 pieces, I divide the 1.5 meter by 6. Then I can distribute it equally. It is 25 centimeters. I need to measure that here. This is the point I will have to connect with the hip line, which I try to find and mark right here. Now I need to straighten the bottom line. I do this by measuring the same length from the hip line at several points, then connecting these points at the bottom. Okay, this was the front centerpiece. Back to the back pattern that I cut in half previously. This one, the center, is going to a folded edge, so I need to measure the 25 centimeters here at this side. And this will be the side piece, so I broaden it on both sides. I start by marking the hip line. At one side I still had enough paper to work on, but I had to stick some paper on the other side. And yeah, same process as previously. The side piece is done. And again, this is the back center piece. It seems to be smaller, but don't let it fool you, it's going to a folded edge. It's 1 meter 40 centimeters wide, lightweight linen, I think, folded in half. For now, I'm using up a little more than 1 meter from this, and I will also need 1 more meter of it for the other piece that I'm hiding here now, and some more for the waistband. So, back center piece on the folded edge. It's not exactly a straight line originally, but now it will be. I draw the outlines with a chalk. First, I measure the excess fabric needed for the hem on the bottom edge, 4 centimeters. and I measure 4 centimeters at the top that will go into the waistband. Here is the front piece. I kept the dart in this one. Here at the opening at the front, I need to make a wide hem. I will fold it back twice, so I leave 4 centimeters for the hem. The waistband will be made of a simple rectangle. I measure it to a folded edge. Half of my waist size minus half of the gap size on the front. I leave some space for the seam allowance. I also cut a same sized piece of fusible interfacing that I will iron on the wrong side of the waistband. I draw all the seam lines with chalk on those sides as well that were the lower layers when I cut them. I also draw the darts on the front. Now I need to place them next to each other. These are the back center and back side pieces. I pin them along the seam lines. And here will be the front pieces. When assembling the back center and back side pieces, I came upon this difference in length. I probably measured something incorrectly. First, I thought that I will start pinning from the bottom and I can hide this difference in the waistband, but I also realized just in time that it won't work because then it will not lay correctly around my waist and my bum. For the waistband, I fold it in half, right sides together, and sew along both ends. Then I clip the excess fabric, first diagonally close to the tip of the upper corner, then parallel to the seam. I make this clipping on both sides of the waistband. I turn it inside out. Now it is ready to be added to the skirt's waist. I will fold the seam allowance inwards just like this. Here's the skirt, all pieces joined together in a happy unity. I still need to hem these raw edges. I will do that by hand with an invisible stitch that will make it look fancier. I also need to hem the bottom. I will fold it back twice and sew along the upper edge at the folding. I'll do this by machine sewing. And here is one front dart and one on the other side. Here at the opening on the front, I might have left a wider gap than I should have, so I will make a narrower hem than I planned to compensate for this mistake of miscalculation. I put a pin on the center of the waistband as well as the center of the skirt to help me place it correctly. I went with the wrong order. It should have been hem the front opening first, then add the waistband. But if I pin the raw edge here to imitate the hem, it will still work out just fine. I pin the waistband on the skirt, turning the seam allowance inside, and sew them together. I've never made a buttonhole before and decided not to experiment on this one. So I am going to attach the 4 buttons on the waistband's edges and will make 2 loops out of this silky cord that will be fixed on one side and can be closed by hooking these loops over the buttons on the other side. And here is the finished outfit. It might look better with the shorter dress I have, so I think there's a chance I will be wearing it with that other dress. And another variation of it might look like this. This kind of upper skirt, I think, is really easy to put on a bunch of outfits. I hope this tutorial will help you out, and thanks for sticking around.